can't hear myself over the river. I don't want to. But I do want to speak, so that maybe my words will reverberate and stay in my own heart or stay in my own head. Really, I just want to stay in the moment. I'm struggling today. Terribly so. Every time I go somewhere, I fantasize. Some beautiful things, some horrid things. But I fantasize, and I think, after an epiphany today, that I do so as some sort of futile attempt to stay in the present. It smells like shit right now. Perhaps the river serves more than one purpose. Perhaps my fantasies serve more purpose than one, too. Are they escape from my thoughts? Or an exploration of present awareness? Why can I not be in the moment despite all my efforts to do so? And why do I have to learn the same lessons time and time again? What makes me stray from myself so far that I cannot just be me in one moment, but must be myself across every moment in every relationship and fantasy? I think my server at this restaurant can read lips. It seems like she can hear me over the roar of the river, and I can't even hear my own whisper of a voice. There is something endlessly quiet about being alone. I'm not certain if I feel lonely as I have before. I just think I'm not used to the silence. But silence is good. Silence is somehow the roar of the river drowning out my voice. I think about composer John Cage often. He has one of my favorite stories. It's like a fairy tale to me because I don't remember all the details just right. I never have, and I don't want to. It's a living, breathing story that way. And stories are always changing. They're supposed to. John Cage, famed American composer, announces a new show. A brand new symphony. And it's John Cage, after all, which means that there's not a single empty seat in that concert hall. No one knows what incredible concertos. There's a bird with a broken leg here. He just stole a hash brown. I hope it was delicious. He hopped on the plate like a little black flamingo. He's a trailblazer, too. Other birds are following his lead. Brave scavengers. They're sharing the pancakes. And while some of them bicker, it seems like they all make room for the little midnight hopscotcher. That is perhaps a more glorious nickname than the bird deserves. May we all get such grand titles. Anyway, there's a chitter-chatter in the concert hall, a wave of curious and calm conversation. They all await the maestro and his musicians. The curtains rise. No, the lights dim. Then the curtains rise. The crowd quiets. But there's no grand symphony. There's but a single piano. Perfect silence, or so it seems. Footsteps clack, clack onto the stage, and a warm welcome of applause showers down from the highest balcony seats above. John Cage brushes his coat behind him and sits gracefully down. His fingers rise above the piano keys, hovering just above. And he closes the piano. He sits there, not moving a muscle, not a single note played. A minute passes before the audience begins to murmur. What's happening? Is it going to begin? Where's the song? But he moves again, thank God, because they were beginning to feel a little bit awkward. He moves to adjust and open the piano once more. His fingers just barely brush the keys and he closes the piano again. The busboy is cleaning up the pancakes and hash browns. I imagine he thinks I didn't notice him cutting up the pancakes into small pieces. Wonder if he did that for the birds, because I don't think he took a bite himself. I think he likes to share too. I wonder if he knows about the peg-legged fowl. It occurs to me that I'd be an awful bird watcher if for no other reason than my preference to name all the birds myself. That one with the yellow crest? It shall be Penelope. Proper scientific name if I've ever heard one. John Cage doesn't play the piano at all that night. The audience is confused as ever as he remains motionless on stage. There are murmurs, rumors, jests and jeers, all the chitter-chatter in the audience as they await the music. It never occurs to them that John Cage was never playing the piano as his instrument. The audience was his instrument. His grand symphony was their so-called silence. And in his silence, he heard all the melodies of life, laughter, and love in their voices and shifting in their seats. Silence was his greatest symphony, 433. In his later years, John Cage was asked about his love of that silence, and in his New York apartment, he said, "I never tire of the silence. My silence now is taxis and traffic and neighbors up and down stairs." I like his silence. I like mine. The river, louder than my voice. And if creeks babble, then a river certainly has a lot to say. I think I'll listen.